Welcome to Namaste today, a healthy way to start your day. I'm your host, Sensei Christopher Witecki, psychic astrologer and friend to the world. This audio blogcast is for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017. Good morning, my brothers and sisters, and Namaste. Well, today I'm predicting a chance of showers and minor breakdown. That's because step 13 rules the day. And it's interesting how we have a superstition around 13, because in step astrology, 13 is a breakdown and breakthrough. Adding complications, we have two vortexes opening today, Mercury and Venus. I'll have more on that in the Zodiac weather. And in today's tea time, I'm going to give you some tips on using step astrology in your life. Some clues to how to decode your year and your age later in the tea time. But first, let's take a listen to your Zodiac weather. This Zodiac weather is for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017. Well, today, step 13 rules the day, and the sun is conjuncting Pluto. That means we will have a cosmic breakdown and breakthrough in the next 24 hours, and it may leave your life changed forever. Also, the moon is in Pisces, which means self-judgment will lead in misery. Let's take a closer look at the planets. Today we are 13 days into Capricorn, thus step 13 rules the day, and 13 is breakdown and breakthrough. So expect the unexpected, my friends. You might have something surprise you. This energy is the setup for some sort of major change or decision between now and Saturday. So it's time to follow what you believe. Step 13 is about following your beliefs and following your hearts versus following what you've been told or the right rules or the way it's been done before. So it's a difficult wake-up call if you're asleep, but it will be a breakthrough in the next 36 hours to help you see you on your way. So be gentle. And that's really the key of the moon in Pisces, being gentle with thyself. The moon crossed over Mars in the last 24 hours, so we've let go of ego issues and we've let go of despair. But moon now heads for Chiron, which means we'll be healing our emotions in the next 24 hours, and that healing may be a state of non-judgment. You must, as you realize the truth or have a breakthrough, not make it harder for yourself. Be self-compassionate. Be self-merciful. Take the path of least resistance. And the reason for this posture is so that you can see the truth. The problem with Capricorn is it's all about stability. So when we realize we were wrong or on the wrong path, we for a minute feel very unstable and we can kind of freak out. Thus, a self-compassionate, no self-judgment, we'll see what happens attitude kind of gives you the spiritual lubrication necessary to get through the hard times. And today that's going to be what's necessary. Just be easy with yourself and we'll see how this unfolds. Now it's highly likely that something sort of cosmic or fated will happen today because we have two planets, count them, two planets at step 0. First of all, step 0 is ruled by Pluto. So with the sun on Pluto, you could say Pluto is affecting 3 planets today, not just one. But the 2 planets that are being affected are very important. One is Mercury retrograde. So our minds are kind of offline. Our minds are kind of between realities today. And when you're in and out of a reality like that, especially with your mind, that is the best time to do a channel switch or to go through a dimensional shift or to have a major breakthrough or change of mind. The other is Venus in Pisces. So Venus is opening up between reality and spirit world, and that vortex that's open also gives us the opportunity to open up to our fated path. So today, you might have a surprise. You might want to expect the unexpected, but what you're being brought to is something cosmic, something spiritual, and likely something fated. So with that, go steep yourself some hot tea, and let's have our daily tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is Step It Up Astrology. And this refers to something I've discovered in my own spiritual research, which I call step astrology. And step astrology is this idea that numerology and astrology actually work as one. They work actually together. They provide information that the other doesn't have, but they link together. And they provide a total picture. So when you apply some of the laws of numerology to the laws of astrology, particularly to the degrees of the planets, you have this new dimension of understanding. Now, it comes down to a decoding that I give to Linda Goodman. Linda Goodman actually told me in a book what numbers went with what signs or what numbers went with what planets. There was a couple I had to figure out on my own, which was Pluto and Chiron. Those two I wasn't certain of. And Linda didn't mention the Earth, so I had to discover that one too in my research. But the encoding of how the numbers go to the planets have a fascinating meaning because the meaning is universal. And not only is it universal, but it's additive. Let me give you an idea of what I mean by this. First of all, each number has a state of awareness. And I'm actually going to put under my blog kind of how the numbers break down, so don't try to memorize all of them right now. But 0 is Pluto or I protect. 1 is Leo or the sun. 2 is the moon or Cancer. 3 is Sagittarius, okay, or Jupiter. And these all come to a core consciousness. 0 is I protect. 1 is I love. 2 is I feel. 3 is I believe. 4 is I belong, and so on. Again, I'll have them underneath my blog if you want to decode. But what's really cool about this is when you look at step numbers or the numbers in front of a planet, you can add these steps to create a net step. And that net step is what numerology kind of brings to the table. So, for instance, I'm an 18-degree Taurus, so I'm a step 18 Taurus. That's what I love, step 1, plus what I like to decide, step 8, and the net is 9. You add the 1 plus the 8, and you get the 9. So this describes me and how I like to operate as a Taurus. Most Tauruses are this and most Tauruses are that, but me, I'm a step 18 Taurus. I'm a Taurus that follows what I love, and I like making decisions, which means I like to be the boss. I also like to make decisions and follow things I love that lead to an action, step 9, something I act I am, which means I like decisions that make people change, help people through the change. So it's a fascinating dimension. Now, I bring all this up because you can do a little step astrology of your own, not even knowing your step number in astrology, but you can actually apply it to the year, and you can apply it to your current age. Part of the reason for this is because consciousness is universal. A 1 in human consciousness always leads to a 2. A 2 always leads to a 3. A 3 always leads to a 4. And that means in step astrology, a 1 I love always leads to feelings. Feelings always lead to beliefs. Beliefs always lead to where we belong. You can look at something like an age, like my age 43, and you can see right away the 4 and the 3. This is how far down the step astrological cycle I have gone. I'm now to the 40s, which means I am working on where I belong, step 4 this year, and I'm working on what I believe. And when I get what I belong to connect to what I believe, then the 4 plus 3, 7, I'll be where I sense, I'll be in my spiritual path. And that's what age 43 is about. And it's funny because human beings all interpret numbers and conscious expansion the exact same way. It works for everyone on the planet. Age 43 is about innovating for your beliefs 3. If you really want to kind of understand this, it's better to look at last year. So last year I was 42 years old, which means in 2016, or from my birthday to my birthday, I was innovating step 4, I belong, figuring out where I belong with step 2, my feelings, trying to figure out where I belong with my feelings. And if I could get that to work, figure out where I belong with my feelings, then I would open up the net 6. And net 6 is I balance or I receive. I would find peace, which is step 6. So you can look at the year you just lived and ask yourself, hey, did it add up this way? This also works for years in a calendar system. So last year was 2016, this year is 2017. Let's look at 2016. 2016 for the world that uses this calendar. And you might go, well, why is it this for this world? Because you have a whole culture that believes this is the 2016th year that humans have been counting. So, since humans have been counting, all humans agree this is the 2016th lap. If you're from a different belief structure, you might believe it's a different year, but if you're in that belief structure, everyone who believes it's that year still has the same numerological psychology around those numbers, and so it still works in law of attraction and manifestation for them, even though it's a totally different year. So 2016, for the people who use this calendar system, first of all the 2000s, what's interesting is about how we feel, the 2. So all the 2000s. Before that, I was born in 1973, so it didn't start with a 2. It started with what we loved. But then after the year 2000, it's all been about how we feel and how we feel. And so it's how we felt. 0 is protected or not protected. So how we felt safe or unsafe, and that's what 0 is. About what we love, step 1, and about what we want to receive, step 6. So it's our feelings, our protection, our hearts, and being able to be in balance or not. We are all seeking for balance, and 2016 adds to a net 9, which means when you find the balance, things move forward. When you find what's fair, things move forward. So what does 2017 mean? Well, 2017 is interesting, and I've said this many times before. This is the year that you will find that your life unfolds to the life you were born to live, the life you were fated to live. And I've been seeing tons and tons of spiritual icons in this numerology and step astrology of 2017. In fact, it literally is. The 2 is how you feel, protected or not protected, 0, about what you love, the 1, and what you sense. In other words, what your spirit tells you. And when these come together and you listen to what your spirit senses, that dangling number there at the end, that dangling number is the number that people usually ignore the most, by the way, the final number. So if that comes together, then it's a 10. In other words, once we listen to our spirit, we will manifest 10, something new. So truly 2017 is a spiritual year and a new platform and a new beginning. One last note, this little decoding of step astrology works with lots of things, including like an anniversary. So if you were together for 45 years, well, that's a long marriage, but if you were together, let's say, for 25 years, then it's what you feel and what you think in that 25th year, and you find your spiritual path. So it's a very special year, the 25th anniversary of something. You can also use step astrology for the number of days. So what's interesting is that they say it takes 40 days to make a new habit. Well, 40 is step 40, which is when you innovate 4 and hold space for that innovation 0. So up until then, innovation doesn't rule. If you did 1 day per step, and the second day another step, and the third day, you've got to get to 40, step 40, before your consciousness will believe you have innovated 4, and you have to hold space for it to be worth anything. So it's interesting, this step astrology. You might have a little playing of your own. Take some numbers. I look at hotel rooms. I look at phone numbers. It's really consciousness and how it unfolds. And I think there's no accidents. There's nothing random. Whenever I'm in a hotel room or given any kind of number, I can't help but look down and see the consciousness that's coming across in step astrology. So step it up and find out what's more. All right, my friend. Well, I hope you have a fantabulous Tuesday, even though it might be cloudy and a little moody. I'll be back in 24 hours with more. Until then, do remember I love you, and live, love, be.